Finally decided to change it up with the wig choice. Good for me. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. Last little bit has been quite stressful and quite busy, hence why we didn't get a video last week, but I'm back this week with a new type of video. I thought, since I recently hit 17K here on YouTube and 7K over on Instagram, that it might be fun to do a little Q&A video and ask you guys for your questions just to celebrate. Thank you guys so much. You have been amazing. And yeah, so I'm gonna be answering some questions. I asked you guys earlier today, as of today when this is being filmed, not today when you're seeing this. That'd be an amazing turnaround if it was that case. I asked you guys over on Instagram to shoot me some questions and you guys did not disappoint. I have almost like 40 people who have left comments here asking questions. So I'm gonna do my best to answer everyone. I might not be able to get to everybody, in which case I do apologize, but I'm gonna do my absolute best and hopefully I will give good answers and be as eloquent as I mean to be, but it is like almost 10 o'clock and I'm exhausted. So we're gonna do our absolute best. All right, so without further ado, let's get into my first ever Q&A video. All right, okay. First question is, which was your first cosplay you were super proud of that made you say like, wow, I made that? I can kind of paraphrase that, I'm sorry. The first ever cosplay that I actually sewed myself was my Umbreon cosplay. I knew that was a very, very simple sewing project, so I think I was excited that I was finally learning how to sew, but I think the first cosplay that I actually had that moment with was probably Charon from Pokemon Black and White, which I did back in the day, because I actually sewed like the whole jacket. My mom for many years, she really liked the sewing. She wouldn't admit it, but she got really hyped about getting to sew me stuff, and even though I wanted to learn, she was like, no, I'm just gonna make the cosplay for you. I'll teach you eventually. That was the point at which she actually started teaching me how to sew, so I ended up sewing that whole jacket pretty much by myself, and I think that was one that I was really excited about. How many conventions have you been to, or how many cosplays have you done? Okay, I actually, if I can find it, I put work into this. I actually had to count them all out to make sure. So in total, like separate conventions that I have attended in my lifetime is 11, but if we're talking about how many times I've actually been to a convention, that would be 34. And then as for how many cosplays I've done, a few people actually asked this. I have done, and again, I had to tally this up and I hopefully remembered all of them, but I have made about 75 cosplays and I still have all of them, which I should probably do something about because that's a lot of cosplays for me to be hoarding in my house, but I'm very sentimental, so. What is the weirdest question you've ever been asked about cosplay in general / your cosplays? That is an excellent question. I think first one that comes to mind about like my cosplays, somebody actually asked me if I cosplay on a daily basis. I think they were under the impression that like I would just go to the store, walk down the street in a cosplay, and that's absolutely not the case. It's actually very rare that I like fully get a cosplay on. It's only for like special events or photo shoots. I think that's probably the weirdest question that I've gotten about my cosplays. Any Cosplay asks, have you met any of your idols and or celebrities at any cons? That is a very good question. And actually I have. When I was cosplaying Go-Go at Van Isle Comic Con, I actually met one of the directors of Big Hero 6. His name is Chris Williams, and he is the nicest guy ever, and there's a lot of sentimentality with that movie, so getting to meet the director and talk to him about it was really great, and he was fantastic anyway. I might do a storytime video on that later on, just because it was just a really big experience for me. Then I've met like one cosplayer that I've looked up to literally since I started is Stefan Schweitz. So I met her at SakuraCon this year, which was lovely. She's fantastic. She's absolutely wonderful. When my friends and I were cosplaying Mystery Skulls, if you guys have seen my AR vlogs from last year, you guys probably know this. We met Melissa Denton, who is one of the animators on Mystery Skulls, and she is so sweet, and it was crazy, and I almost passed out because I was that excited, and it was just a really, really cool experience. And then also Anime Revolution, I think 2 years before that time, my friends and I, we met the voice actress for Armin when we were in our Attack on Titan cosplay, so that was really cool too. Little Ball of Furry asks, what cosplay of yours was the most difficult to make / wear, etc.? Okay, so hands down, most difficult to wear was Undyne. Freaking most uncomfortable cosplay experience I have ever had. So I had body paint, which is like terrible enough. I had half my vision obstructed, and so I had absolutely no depth perception. I had my chunky heels, so like those hurt my feet after a while. I had a spear, so like I only had one hand that I actually had free the whole time. I had those fake fangs, so it was really hard to eat anything, and of course my hands were painted as well, so like again, hard to like pick things up when you have paint all over your hands because you don't really want to be eating your hand paint. It was pretty warm that day, and I had the leather jacket, which of course does not breathe because it's pleather. And then I also had the little fin prosthetics that I had to glue to my face, and just overall like I had a panic attack putting on my makeup that morning. And of course I felt really self-conscious the whole day because I didn't look very good. I don't think I looked very good. I was really self self-conscious about how I looked and it was really uncomfortable, so like that was the hardest one to wear, and I meant to have a photo shoot of her after the con and it just never happened because it's just such a stressful cosplay to put on. As for making, see, looking back, it's really hard to remember cosplays that were difficult to make, I feel, but most difficult to make was maybe, I want to say my Elastigirl. I had a lot of trouble making my Elastigirl cosplays. That's a whole other story for another time, but probably Elastigirl or my Femme Hawkeye cosplay because it was just such an intricate thing. Having to make like the bow and the quiver and the screen accurate vest and everything. That was really difficult. And then maybe Tracer, because I've said in the past that was a big challenge for me just because I hate working with chemicals and stuff. The Plastidip, I almost cried using the Plastidip because it went so badly and I just hate spray painting things. Those are probably the ones that were the most difficult to make. Kind of low on creativity asks, do you have any current favorite cosplays you've made? Yes! Right off the bat I have to say Kylie Griffin. I mean, that happens to be my most recent cosplay, but like it's the one that I've wanted to do all year. You guys probably know already, I'm super into Ghostbusters right now. Like that is my main jam and I love Kylie, and it just came together really well because if you've seen the show you probably know that her design is absolutely ridiculous and terrible looking. For the longest time I was like, I really love her, but I'll probably never do that outfit just because it's so stupid looking, but then, you know, it grew on me over time. I was like, you know, I gotta do the combat outfit, but you know what, we'll just like redesign it and try to make it as like not stupid looking as possible. She freaking, her outfit, it looks like a life jacket and football gear had a baby and that's what they gave her. I still don't understand. That's a whole other rant from another time. But anyway, really happy with how Kylie came out. So yeah, probably Kylie and also Tracer. I'm not totally happy with my Tracer. There's a lot that I wish was different on it, but I still like really love cosplaying her. Regardless of how self-conscious I am about how certain parts of it look, I still have a really fun time cosplaying her, and I love Tracer pieces, obviously. So yeah, probably Kylie and Tracer right now, but you know, that's gonna change over time. But yeah, those are probably my current favorites. What's your favorite Funko Pop that you have? I'm glad you asked. Let me grab them for you. It's Dipper, because I freaking love Dipper, and I love that he has the journal. I feel like this is one of the more nicely designed pops. I really love my Dipper pop. I love Dipper. I love that they made Gravity Falls pops. I love this pop. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite one. Are there any boys that you like to cosplay? Okay, so it never occurs to me that like I mostly cosplay girls now. That's not a deliberate thing at all. I guess most of you who have followed me recently, it looks like I only cosplay girls, I guess. I feel like, is that a thing? But yeah, like 2 to 3 years ago, I mostly cosplayed boys, and the main cosplays that I was really well known for at that time were male characters. Yeah, that never occurred to me that like it's rare now for me to cosplay boys. That's not a conscious choice. But to answer your question, I'm gonna cosplay Dipper more. Maybe some other designs. My Mabel and I, we had all of these original designs planned out and then we never got to a bunch of them. But yeah, I really love cosplaying Dipper, so I'm gonna cosplay Dipper more for sure. I don't know when, but I really want to cosplay him more because again, love Dipper. We were also supposed to do Stan and Ford, their young versions. Madeline, if you're watching, we should do that. If you're still interested, we should totally do that. So yeah, I guess Ford will be a thing. I'm gonna cosplay Timmy Turner. I really want to do some sort of Fairly Odd Parents group. I want to do Wanda, but I also really want to be Timmy, so I will be doing Timmy. And then I want to cosplay Danny from Danny Phantom, but none of his designs are really that appealing to me on like a cosplay level. So I kind of want to do some sort of original design, kind of like I did for Monster Hunter Dipper. I like doing the edgy designs, edgy boy outfits, so I don't know, I might do some sort of edgy post-apocalyptic kind of thing for Danny. I don't know, I haven't really decided, but I really want to cosplay Danny in some capacity, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. And then there's also an Overwatch boy that I've been meaning to cosplay for a while, but I'm not going to actually be doing one of his canon outfits. I'm going to be doing a version of him that doesn't have a canon design yet, so I have to figure out how I want to go about that. But yeah, so see if you can guess who it is. It's Just Ren says, congratulations on the 17K. Thank you, my dude. Really appreciate it. What is your favorite cosplay that you've done? This can mean the experience you had on the con day, the cosplay you were doing, or really just anything that made you love that cosplay. Okay, that's a really hard question. I don't think I have an answer to that. Like, I can't even just think of one. Each cosplay is like your favorite for a different reason, I guess. So like, I don't know, I'll be here forever if I explain like all of my favorite cosplays based on like all these different things. So I don't know, I guess I'll probably go with Vanellope, I guess. Yeah, for now, just so that I don't start rambling about this for like the rest of the video. Vanellope is a really important character to me, and Wreck-It Ralph is my most favorite movie of all time. There's like a lot of sentimentality to that, and I'm still really proud of how it came out because I put a lot of work into it, and I was like, I want this to be as accurate as possible, and like cosplaying her was super fun, so yeah. That's still my most popular cosplay. Like if you just Google Vanellope Von Schweetz cosplay, like my photo comes up so many times. No other cosplay that I've ever done has ever topped that, but like that's not really the important part. I should definitely bring her back out sometime. Obviously I still have the cosplay, so I'll probably like revamp it and wear it again because especially because there's the sequel coming out. Don't know how I feel about the sequel, but anyway, thank you for your question. Slumbering Cats asks, what got you into cosplay? I think a couple other people asked the same question. So what got me into cosplay was just learning about it. Like I knew that dressing up as fictional characters was a thing. I feel like I could make a whole video kind of on my like cosplay origin story, but like it was just learning about it and learning that it wasn't just about anime, because at that time my main things were not anime related at all. They were North American cartoons like Danny Phantom, Avatar. I think I thought that like going to conventions was only for anime, and so therefore I thought that wasn't something that I could be a part of, but of course anime conventions are really open to any sort of media. A friend just told me when you dress up as a fictional character, that's called cosplay. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know there was a term for it. And then from there I actually went and googled like X series that I was into and then cosplay. So I looked up like Fairly Odd Parents cosplay, Stormhawks cosplay, Danny Phantom cosplay, and like all these things came up, and that's how I learned more about it, and I learned how broad it was, and I learned that like it was something that I could get into. Again, I could make probably a whole video on this. Any encouraging advice to people trying to get started with cosplay? I actually have a lot of people asking what my beginner tips are. I actually did a video on that just the other week, and I'll link that up there. I recommend that you go check it out for all of my beginner tips. Oh, Kitty Jean, hello. What is your dream cosplay? I know this is probably asked a lot, but whatever. It's actually not, so no worries there. My dream cosplay most recently was Tracer. I thought that was a cosplay that I would never ever be able to do by myself, and then I ended up doing it. Maybe not like, you know, as well as other people, but that doesn't matter because like just the fact that I did it is just a big accomplishment to me, and I love Tracer so much. So yeah, that was actually my dream cosplay, so now I don't think I really have one. I would say Tracer's Chinese New Year skin, because every time I see that skin, I'm just like, it's so beautiful. I love its design, but like it's just Tracer's same outfit but like redesigned. I've already made her main outfit, so I don't know if I'd have the motivation to like make it again just in a different color palette, but like it's really beautiful. And then I guess the other one is kind of like 50% of dream cosplay, because like my next cosplay is going to be Kylie Griffin's IDW comic version. There's the animated version, and then they also have her in the comic book universe, and she has a completely different look there, and I really love the comics like so flippin' much. But yeah, I'm gonna cosplay her, and like in the comic she has like the traditional Ghostbusters outfit, and she has the proton pack and everything. So I'm gonna cosplay her, but like I'm not making the proton pack because no thank you. But it would be really cool for photos to actually have it anyway, but like Kylie, but like with the proton pack would be a dream cosplay. And then Chinese New Year Tracer. That's my answer. But like, I don't know, if you ask me in like 6 months, it's probably gonna be a completely different answer. But Maho Melon says, what is your favorite convention that you've attended? And congratulations, thank you, my dude, appreciate it. Ah, she's super sweet. If you don't follow her already, you should totally check her out on Instagram. Her stuff is so good. Anyway, to answer your question, my dear, my favorite convention that I've attended, hands down, Emerald City Comic Con. I went 2 or 3 years ago, and it was the most amazing experience. I was at the height of my Marvel phase, and I decided to cosplay Marvel, so I did Hawkeye, and I did Pepper, and it was just the most incredible experience. Yeah, I would love to go back to ECCC. Oh, my friend Alchemic Rose. Shout out to you, my dude. How you doing? Thank you for your question. All right, so she asks, what's the most challenging component of a cosplay to make for you? Props that aren't made out of cardboard, craft foam, and a glue gun. I hate using chemicals. I hate all of that. Painting can be stressful. Most challenging component is definitely prop. UV Shooting Star says, if you're having a rough day / week and a con is coming up, what's your motivation to finish your cosplays? Whenever I'm choosing cosplays for a convention, I always try to make sure that is the main thing that I'm into, and just the love that I have for that series, and like how much I want to show that love and like embody that character. That's always the motivation. Where do you find motivation, and how do you find ways to cope when things aren't going well? Okay, so I guess I think I mostly answered the motivation part. Just like every cosplay has its own sense of motivation, whether you're excited about like the design or something, but like most of the time it's just the excitement that I have for the character in the series and being able to show that love and portray that character. Like every cosplay has its own kind of built-in motivation. If you could make a cosplay group for any fandom, what would your dream cosplay be, and with who? Could be people you know or you're just a fan of. Okay, so my dream cosplay group is Ghostbusters, obviously. Either Extreme, I would so love to have a group to cosplay Extreme Ghostbusters with, but nobody I know would be into that. Yeah, I don't have anybody who would want to cosplay the guys with me, but like, oh man, if I could have a Roland and Eduardo and Garrett, my life would be so complete. And then my other dream cosplay group would be to do the IDW cast and like have everybody. That's totally unrealistic because there's like a lot of characters in the IDW universe, but oh, it'd be so cool. Oh, I'd love to have them to cosplay with. Oh man, if I could just have like the OG squad and then like Melanie and Jenny and just, oh, I really like that. That'll never happen, but that's like my ultimate group cosplay. That's my dream. Any hobbies other than cosplay? What is the non-cosplay side of you? The non-cosplay side of me is like most of me. I really like doing photography and videography, hence why I have a YouTube channel now. Graphic design. Mostly like talking and screaming about cartoons is like my main hobby. I just, like, cosplay is a way for me to show that I like things, but like the actual act of like talking about the series that I'm into and like coming up with headcanons and theories and stuff, I love that a lot. I also really like looking into lost media. I usually just watch videos, but sometimes if one is particularly interesting, I'll kind of like look more into it. I'm really interested in the Clockman one. Those are the main hobbies that I can think of. I don't know. I used to be really big into art, but like it comes and goes. How old were you when you first made your first costume and what was it? Also, I love your work and you're really cute. Oh, thank you. That's really nice of you. Thank you. 14 years old, I cosplayed Peach from Mario and I had a good old time. My hair was greasy and I had acne all over my face, but I still really enjoyed it. What inspired you to keep going, and do you have any new cosplays in the works? I feel like I definitely don't have as much enthusiasm for cosplay as I used to. This year has just been crazy in general and kind of weird and just a lot of stuff. I guess I really just love the chance to kind of almost put yourself in like the world of a certain character. It's really the motivation, I think. Well, I mean, the creative aspect is always appealing, even if I'm not as motivated as I have been in the past, and just the passion that I have for source material and just the socializing aspect, you know, getting to hang out with my friends. A lot of the highlights from going to conventions has been like the memories I have of hanging out with friends, so kind of a bunch of different things. Do I have any new cosplays in the work? Yeah, it's gonna be, oh, I can show you, let me go get her. I mean, not like the actual cosplay, but like I'll show you. I'm gonna I don't know if you can even freaking see that, but it's her. I'm gonna do Kylie. She has like 6 parents. They all love her very much and support her. Oh, beautiful, beautiful nerd family. I love them all very much. Okay, yeah, that's the next cosplay I'm gonna be starting on. Oh, and then our final question was actually direct messaged to me by my lovely friend Sydney, and she asked me this, to which I answered, cowabunga, dude. And she said that was a good answer, so thank you, Sydney. I'm glad that I have you here to really ask those hard-hitting questions, so there we go. All right, cool, so that is my first ever Q&A. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted questions. Really appreciate it. I got way more than I anticipated and you all asked really great questions. So thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all so much again for hanging out with me today. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this and asking questions and everything. And if you guys are interested, I can do more of these in future. I probably will, maybe like when I hit 20K here. I don't know, we'll see. But when I do, I will for sure be doing the same thing that I did here. I'll make a post on Instagram and then everybody can leave their questions down below. So if you want to ask a question for my next video, please make sure that you are following me on Instagram. I will have that linked down below as usual. And yeah, thank you guys so much for your continued support. Thank you so much for helping me reach 17K and then 7K on Instagram. And it's been awesome, and you guys have been really great and supportive, and I super appreciate it. So yeah, anyway, that's all for me today. It is almost 11 o'clock and I have to get up early tomorrow for school, so I'm gonna go now. But again, thank you guys so much for everything, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys all next week. But until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!